Okay, so to those of you online, we're going to be concluding the day with something called the jury. It's kind of like a combination between mobile messaging meets Eurovision. There's a little bit of fun linked to it, but the questions are actually very serious and the topic's serious and very, very relevant, particularly to what the themes have been today. So hopefully all 4 contestants are mic'd up. I see one isn't. Mr. Tomikas, I'm looking at you. Have you got your mic? You can go get your mic, sir. Oh, yes. Thank you. So, we have 4 contestants. Rajiv, have you got your mic? Yes. Nick. There we go. That's fine then. Thank you very much. So, I'd like to introduce our 4 contestants today. They are. Nick Lane is moving towards the stage. Go for it. Nick Lane, founder and chief insight analyst, Mobilesquared. We've got Rajiv Singla, who is the CTO and head of messaging with Globe Teleservices. Welcome, Rajiv. Tomikas, who is the global connectivity officer with Messente Communications, and chief revenue officer of Enabled, it's Carlos Villanueva. So very warm welcome. So these are not speakers, really, in the traditional sense on a panel. Many of you will probably already be familiar with what we do here at MEF with the jury. For those of you who are not, the idea is very simple. We have 3 questions. Well, I created the questions. They're all basically CPaaS related, given so much of today has been talking about CPaaS. Each of the contestants has 2 minutes to answer the question. We have been kind to them, so they have seen the questions before. I may have a variant of this where you don't in the future. But there we go. That could be something else.
That's always expected from James.
Yes, obviously. Could be very mean, Rajiv. Yeah. So there we go. So that's that. And then after each one of the contestants has answered the first question, you, the audience, has 60 seconds to vote on who you thought spoke best. We repeat the same process for questions 2 and 3. And then I tot up the points right here, and we have a winner of the jury. Now, here, in this little bag, I have the names of the people, and I'm going to pull one out. Random. I know. Here it is. It is. Mr. Nick Lane, you're up. You're 2 minutes on the first question. Actually, it's up to me to press it. Here we go. It is, what makes for a good CPaaS provider?
Well, James, what makes for a good CPaaS provider, I think, is invisibility. And what I mean by that is what CPaaS is doing is connecting the brand to the user, nothing else. So it is just a conduit to get that information and share that information in a 2-way, bilateral flow. So it doesn't really matter what channel or what channels are being used for CPaaS, as long as that communication happens. So for me, that it would be the ideal CPaaS provider in that they don't have a name.
Wow, very, very, very short, very concise. Excellent, thank you very much. Next up. I know, Nick, isn't it? Mr. Carlos Villanueva, your 2 minutes starts now. 2 minutes on the clock, please. Thank you.
I think a good CPaaS provider is the one that doesn't call itself a CPaaS provider, actually, because nowadays everybody is trying to jump in the CPaaS market and call itself CPaaS. But in reality, in the industry, there are different flavors of a CPaaS provider. So to call someone a good, somebody or a company a good CPaaS provider is quite tough, right? I might call it a good one, the one who understands what's their role in the industry. It's the one who is going to serve the SMBs, is the one who is going to provide access to channels to the enterprise. Is it the one who is going to bring API functionalities? It is the one who brings end-to-end solutions. Who is a good CPaaS? Which of those is a good CPaaS provider? Probably it's going to be difficult to answer. So among the all the providers, what I found crucial is customer experience. So the one who brings a relevant customer experience regardless of the market they are addressing, if it is SMBs, enterprise, or offering CPaaS capabilities to other service providers. Customer experience is key because actually I fully agree with Nick, invisibility is very important. It's becoming complex, many players offering many capabilities. Everybody calls itself CPaaS. So if you offer less complexity in the already crowded market, then you are going in a good path.
Carlos, your time's up. There we go. No, there we are. There we go. No, you had 7 seconds with the microphone. There you are. No. Don't give me that. I'm keeping a sharp eye on this. Next up, we have Rajiv Singla. Your 2 minutes on the clock, please, at the back. 2 minutes. Thank you. 2 minutes starts now.
It's short, so you don't need a timer. For me, CPaaS, a good CPaaS provider is which works on CACS model, which is centralized, automated, and comprehensive and secure. So that's what those enterprises they're looking for when they're connecting to their subscribers. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, I was just taken aback. I was looking around going, what's going on? There's 24 seconds. No. No. That's a no, sir. Good try. So 2 minutes again. We're all ready to go. I think we know who it is.
I get to be last. Great.
Yeah.
So from my side, the main thing that I bring out is the idea of education and being able to educate in order to decrease complexity, in order to become invisible for the provider. You need to first be able to tell them, this is your problem A, take tool B, use it in a way C, you'll get result D. That's it. Trying to make it as simple as possible for people to use, not use acronyms like CPaaS, UCaaS, CCaaS, whatever else. It's, you want to send an SMS, you use this thing, or you press this button, or do thing X. Making it as simple as possible and educating the companies on how they can reach the goals that they're reaching instead of selling products or selling tools. Making it simple. My favorite acronym is KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And I think that applies to a great CPaaS provider as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Uku. That's it. So, you, the audience, you've got 60 seconds starting now to vote. Now, those of you here in the room, you can stick your hand up for who you thought was the best. Those of you online, you've got something to choose from online. So, those of you in the room, who thought Nick did the best? 6, 7.
Come on, more of you. They all said invisible. Come on.
We do love you, Nick.
There we go. Next up, Rajiv. Put your hand up. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a bit of indecision there. Okay. Your team members actually voted for you, Rajiv. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I didn't bring anybody.
No. Uku. Okay. And finally, Carlos. Okay, thank you very much. That's it. And now I'm going to get the results for the online via a very well-known chat app. Yeah, exactly. Numbers, please. The suspense. Yeah, just Yes,
Yeah.
by my fair hand.
Pigeons.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Okay, thank you. Took a bit of time, but we got there. So, next up, second question. And actually, do you know what? I'm going to go rogue. So, I'm going to be kind. Uka, it's not going to be you first. We've had that before.
I don't mind.
But okay, then it's you first. Thank you. 2 minutes on the clock right here. What are the challenges facing the CPaaS industry today?
I assumed it was a hypothetical situation, not an actual one, but oh well.
No.
So we've talked about a lot of things, from complexity to pricing to all sort of different things. Instead of repeating all of them over again, I'd maybe dive deeper into the complexity issue and one of the things that we've come across as a company ourselves. So one of the things that complexity creates is many different solutions to try to combat that complexity. And trying to make things work, we create a lot of APIs, we create a lot of tools, we create a lot of different types of features, products, and functionalities to help companies overcome different situations and find solutions. But then you stumble upon a client that is running a legacy platform, and now they have to start integrating all of those various APIs and all of those various things in order to reach some sort of a conclusion. And what this creates is 6-8 months product development sessions that end up being incredibly cumbersome for the company. So I come back over and over again to the idea of simplicity, because in order to grow, the best way to grow is to make it as simple as possible. And human beings will avoid doing anything if it's more complicated than it has to be, and will only do it when it is absolutely necessary that they do. So if we can make it as simple for that final switch, that final straw that breaks the camel's back, if we can be there at the right time, that's the challenge that we can overcome, and that's how we can create the most growth. And if we can bypass that complexity, I think we can get to a much, much better place.
Okay, thank you very much. 2 minutes on the clock, please. Next, it's Nick, Mr. Nick Lane.
So I think the big challenges facing the industry right now, aside from the complexity, because we know we've got some amazing CPaaS providers that will overcome the complexity. That's not a problem. The simplicity of it, they're going to do simplicity. That's all fine. The biggest issue is, what the hell is CPaaS? So you can talk to anyone. I reckon anyone in this room all has a different opinion of what CPaaS is. So no one actually knows. It's communications platform as a service. But what does it mean? Everyone so far today has probably come up with something slightly different in terms of what CPaaS is. So, does it include UCaaS? Does it involve CCaaS? And there's probably lots of other AS that we don't know about that should be included within CPaaS, but we just don't know. So until someone comes up with a definitive definition of what CPaaS is, it's difficult to say what the true industry, the true issues facing the industry are, because we don't know what the industry actually is. So that would be my answer to that, without answering anything, really.
Thank you, Nick. Next up, we have Carlos. 2 minutes, go.
For me, the challenge is to choose a place to be in the industry. Because there are, as I mentioned earlier, there are many players that we all want to find a role to play. And at some point in time, everybody wants to do everything. In some countries and regions, I hear people saying, I want to be the next Twilio in this country, and next Twilio or next Bonus in this country. Okay, good luck. But there are many roles to play here. And the thing is, as long as we as CPaaS industry, we don't understand those roles, then it's going to be hard to collaborate among the players. There are different opportunities, and not everybody or not every company or provider will be a final CPaaS provider. They will add pieces to the CPaaS solutions, but not necessarily will be facing the SMBs or facing the enterprise. There are other roles to play. They can bring CPaaS functionalities on the connectivity side, on the aggregation side. They can also be bringing value-added services to the CPaaS industry that a final CPaaS provider can embed and go to market. but the point is, as everybody is trying to address the same market with not a clear idea, not everybody, but many of these providers are trying to address the industry with the same strategy, then it makes it difficult to understand what's the role that each of them are playing and how the industry can benefit from the collaboration of all of them.
Thank you very much, Carlos. 2 minutes on the clock. We know who it is. Rajiv.
Yeah, like most of them, they have answered. The biggest challenge what the CPaaS industry facing today is like everybody is jumping into and developing the CPaaS platform, and without actually knowing what those enterprises or those brands and those subscribers they're looking for. And so if we understand the actual problem, so then we can make a better CPaaS platform, like Nick and Carlos have said.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have 60 seconds on the clock. Off we go. 60 seconds are starting now. So those of you online, you know what you need to do. Those of you in the room, you also know what you need to do if you work for Rajiv. So first up, Nick Lane. Votes for Nick, please, in the room. I count 11. Nick, you're counting. There we go. Okay, so I'm all right. Excellent. I'm not doing that badly. Next up, I'm going to go for Carlos. Let's mix it up. Carlos, over there. Okay, thank you very much. Got you on. Thank you, Lucian. And we have Uku in the room, please. You've got 2, actually.
Don't make it worse.
Shh. And then we've got Rajiv. I know how many votes he will have at least as a minimum. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Jar, you're doing a good job. Your pay rise is assured. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. 3 drinks. Yeah, you're going to get those anyway. Thank you very much. Time is up. Waiting for the online. When the online comes, manual process, but rest assured the results will be worth it. Thank you. So here we go. Oh. I've got a statistician, that's a bit. I know. There we go.
They blew the money on the app. Can't even get a calculator.
Wowzers. There would be, actually. There probably is, but there we are. I do old school because I trust this. Says me working for the mobile ecosystem with technology. Okay, thank you very much. So we've got that. Now, next up, we have question number 3. It is the last question. So, yes. I'll let chance take it up. Sorry, but it's Uku again. Off you go.
Am I the first or last? Did you just give me the biggest piece of paper and you're just picking that one? No, so why should they care if it's such a small part of the MNO's revenue? One of the things, luckily, one of the great answers that was provided was actually done by Nick already, showing the graphs that it keeps on going upward and will end up making them a lot more money. But also looking at a little bit more broadly why CPaaS is a good idea probably for MNOs. Bear in mind, not being an MNO, one of the things that was brought out was the perception that MNOs are slow, right? Slow and cumbersome in a way. So the CPaaS mentality of maybe working over APIs, giving it a little bit more of an easy way to operate with things, not working over specific operator protocols, for example, can give an easier access to companies. You know, that already helps sort of decrease the level or the entry barrier that it is for enterprises to actually work with MNOs rather than work with local aggregators. One of the things that I would also disagree with is this idea that being an MNO means that you are closer and better suited to meet local clients' needs. In one way, sure, but another way, the local aggregator will actually be more suited because they will combine flexibility and ease of use with also being local and next to those people and actually speaking their language, for example, as well. So being more flexible, being there, being able to add that value over making things a little bit easier for integration, I think is one of the reasons why MNO should look at CPaaS and looking at ways of trying to make themselves a little bit more appealing or at least easier to work with. Plus get rid of the bureaucracy.
Thank you very much. 2 minutes on the clock, please. Nick Lane. You didn't expect that one.
Hang on, I've lost 5 seconds already. Okay, so there's 2 things I think we need to think about here. Firstly, we shouldn't worry about mobile network. I can't even say it. Mobile network operators. Why? Because they earn over $1 trillion each year, so they're not doing too badly already. So the other thing to think about is actually, if you, I don't know, you probably don't remember the slides from earlier that I showed, but most companies are kind of doing 2 channels in terms of CPaaS typically. So it's email and one other. So it could be SMS, voice, etc. So in a way, MNOs are already CPaaS providers because they have a communications platform. They're already doing voice and messaging. So they're already part of the way there. They just need to add on a few more channels. When they do that, will they then become CPaaS? I don't know. Maybe by the time they get round to it, we'll all have worked out what the definition of CPaaS is, and we can then move forward and agree on all of that. But for now, I don't think we should worry about it because they're already there. They just need to expand their portfolio, and then everyone can profit from this. And again, I've run out. No, I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Nick. 2 minutes on the clock, please, folks. Rajiv.
Yeah, the MNOs, they have to take care about the CPaaS as of now. The voice, if you say voice used to be the biggest portfolio for the MNOs, and the revenues and the margins, they are decreasing day by day. And SMS was an alternative, but now being the hike in the prices and people looking out for alternative channels for SMS, so it may have a slowdown in the 3 or 5 years. So to connect to those customers and to have better visibility with the brands, so they should take care about the CPaaS, and that definitely going to give a jump to their revenues as well.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And we know 2 minutes, thank you. They know already. It's for Carlos. Carlos.
Yes. So for me, they should take care about CPaaS because they are already part of the CPaaS industry. I mean, they might not know that, but they are. They are providing an important piece, which is the connectivity or the aggregation part of the CPaaS market. And as Nick just said, 65% of the A2P traffic, it's being generated by CPaaS, and normally that traffic is being carried by wholesale carriers or operator networks. So they are part of the CPaaS industry. It's just that they are not called CPaaS because of several reasons. Not a clear digital strategy or digital transformation strategy, not a clear platform strategy, not let's say a powerful brand that can address SMBs and enterprise with a digital first customer base, but they are part of the CPaaS industry. That's why they should take care about, and they should take care about because they are getting today revenues out of the CPaaS industry, and they should explore how to serve better the CPaaS industry where they are playing today. They might not be the ones selling directly to the enterprise or the SMB, but they are playing already a role, which is a crucial role, and that's important. So if someone would say that they are not taking care of the CPaaS, I think it's not correct. And we should let them know that they're a key factor into the success of the CPaaS industry.
Thank you very much. So that's our last question, our last speaker or contestant, and we go into our final 60 seconds. You know the drill online. You know the drill in the room. Starting off, 60 seconds now. Carlos, who would vote for Carlos sitting in the room? Okay, thank you very much. Next up, Nick. Rajiv. Got all your bids in. And finally, Uku. I suspect someone's put their hand up twice, but there we are. You did. Yeah, I got you. 1, 2. Okay, that's it for in the room. The online, apparently they're a minute delayed with the feed and everything like that, so that's why it takes a little bit longer. But there we go. So I'm just waiting for the online. We got to entertain ourselves for a minute or so. Okay.
Should we dance?
Oh, no. You don't want me to sing, that's for sure. Don't want me to dance, that's even more certain. There we go. No, we could all do some press-ups. So.
Stand still. All the online people think it's frozen.
Do you get extra points for every press-up you do?
Yeah, we get Anders Carlson leading. I suspect you, with your bouldering capabilities, you might be rather good at this. Yeah.
That's my only hope.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, the results are in, so I've got to rely on my... First of all, switch the pen on.
Interesting fact, he's left-handed.
Yeah, that doesn't mean much.
And the pen's not. It's all made.
Thank you, everyone. Nearly there, nearly there. I was going to say, keep your hair on. It's way too late for me. Wow. Okay. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so...
Usually only the first place gets something. This time there's commiseration.
Yeah, Uku realized usually it's just the first person who actually gets a prize, but we do have commission prizes for the people who are second equal. There is no second, third, and fourth here at MEF. So
Carlos would have liked those the previous 2 times as well.
this is something new. It could be the last time as well. Wow. Okay, so in second equal position, we have Uku. Come on. We also have Rajiv. Thank you, Ross. We have, this is going to reveal it, Nick Lane. So that means the winner of the Amsterdam edition of the jury. He was also the winner of the London edition of the jury before. Yeah, well, there we go. It's Mr. Carlos Villanueva. Carlos, very well done. They've all been really, really great sports, but those questions had a really, really serious background to them, because so much of what we do in business messaging is focused on the aggregators, CPaaS providers, call them what you want, working with mobile network operators together, ultimately to protect the consumers and make a bit of money along the way. So that is the hope. So thank you very much, all of you. And before I go, I'd like to thank all of you who joined online. Hope you've enjoyed day one of MEF Connect's Business Messaging 2022. Please come back the same time tomorrow for day 2, where we have some really, really great content again. And for those of you here at the event, I'm pleased to say the cocktail reception, free drinks, etc., is going to be open right now that way. for a couple of hours. So that's it. Enjoy and have a great evening. Thank you very much. And goodbye all. Bye.